So we were waiting for 2021 in 2020, or we were rather waiting for 2020 in 2019. And 2 months after 2020 started, it was COVID time. And then we were waiting for COVID to end. And then we entered 2021 with high hopes that will bring the end of COVID, but that did not happen. And so we were waiting for 2022. And we stopped making resolutions. We changed the word resolutions to intentions, manifestations, and writing down our goals, short term, medium term. And we are already into the second week of 2022. And symbolically, what we do on the 1st of January, we think we will do that the entire year. Sometimes we plan to do that, many times we are not able to. But what is one thing which will happen every year? Aging. We are going to age, we are going to celebrate our birthdays. And initially when you are 10, you're 16, you're 21, you're 25, you're happy. As you start aging, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50. Slowly we start worrying about our birthdays. So let's talk about reverse aging. This is not anti-aging. I'm not going to be talking about any kind of surgery. We are living in a world of a lot of surgeries being done and a lot of other things which happen for anti-aging. This is reverse aging. So there is a concept of, so today we are going to just talk, I'm going to be talking to you for some time. You filled in a questionnaire. Let's talk about what is reverse aging, and then we can do, you know, a little bit of workout. So how many of you do regular exercise every day or every day without fail? Okay, fine. So the gist of today's talk basically is that when we talk about reverse aging, what is longevity? Do you all want to live long, or do you want to live healthy? Or do you want to, you know, when we are young, we are like, doesn't matter. But as we grow old, we want to live longer and we want to live healthier. So that is what your health span is all about. Years lived in good health. And we have seen it in COVID that if you are not healthy, if you don't keep yourself fit, you may lose out on this battle. And what happens to us? How do we age? Have you heard about trillions of cells in our body? So we are all human and we have trillions of cells, and in our cells we have got something called so for example, this part is the nucleus of our cell, which contains all our genes, and then all these green chairs form the mitochondria. Mitochondria are these tiny organelles which keep on working continuously. They keep all the energy, and they are responsible for us, you know, not to age. And also the mitochondria also have this genetic material which communicates the mitochondria outside the nucleus, and the nucleus which has the DNA, they keep communicating through each other through a substance which is called NAD. So we are hearing of all NAD, yeah. So NAD is the kind of magic molecule through which we keep on making sure that, you know, we are not aging as fast as we would. Because if you are not doing certain things, the mitochondria will age. The mitochondria, which are the powerhouse, they generate the oxygen, and the oxygen is what is needed for us to stay alive and healthy. What also happens is that the DNA, which is what keeps us, you know, healthy and alive. So aging is called because these mitochondria start to wear out, they die off, and there are hundreds and hundreds in one cell. These are networks which are critical for life. And so we need to think at that level. We need to think that each cell of us is made up of these mitochondria, and how do we keep them healthy. So this is how our DNA is. Why do we age? You cannot see the DNA, it is microscopic. It is going to be in each cell of yours. So if this room is a cell, I told you there is a nucleus which contains a lot of DNA, which is what is how we are, that's what our genetic material is. But these mitochondria which are outside, if you see, this is how probably our DNA looks. and as we age, this chain of DNA, the tail behind it, there are some attachments called the methyl bonds which get attached to it. So this is DNA methylation, and the more and more methylation happens, we age, and then our hair is getting grayer, we get the wrinkles and all of those things. And this is what happens, is that it's like the rust on the pipe. So methylation is what, so the DNA is like a pipe, and as you age, the mitochondria is getting older, methylation is happening like rust, and that is what this methylation does to your cells. So what do? DNA is something which you are born with, genes are something you are born with, you can't change it, but epigenetics is what happens around us. Epigenetics is what we can do, the environment in which we live in. So this epigenetics is what controls the DNA, and how many of us are going to age faster, whether we are going to get all these problems like heart disease or diabetes or cancer. And even aging now is such a condition which we can either slow down or reverse. And there is now a lot of study being done on sirtuins. These are the genes which can be activated. It's like what do you say, a backup drive in our body. So these are the genes which can be activated, and these are the genes which help us to stay active. For example, intermittent exposure to heat, which is why we do the saunas. So heat therapy, cold therapy, all of that. If you're taking a shower in the morning, do you use warm water or cold water? What would help? Cold? Hot? Hot? So if we were to at least try taking a cold shower, that will activate the mitochondria. When you exercise, mitochondria get activated. These activated mitochondria are going to help you. What about food? How colorful is the food that you eat? Depends on what you're eating. Okay, now that but were you always, you are a vegetarian now or a vegan or? No. Yeah, so there are more than 800, but as habit, what do? Usually we order the same, because that's what's easier also. And when you shop in the supermarket, when do you shop? Do you shop when you're hungry?
That's the worst time to shop. Believe me, that is the worst time to shop.
That's the worst time to shop.
When you're hungry.
Yeah. So even if you go into a supermarket, that's how they arrange the stuff. They keep the stuff which is more packaged just in front of you or near the billing counter, so that you just grab up stuff. So what colors have you had in the last 1 week? In terms of
green, red, yellow.
Okay, so you can in fact have the rainbow on your palette, isn't it? Fine. So sirtuins are the genes which can be activated, and these are the genes which can in fact help reverse a lot of conditions, chronic conditions like diabetes and say for example heart disease. We have heard about intermittent and extended fasting. Have you tried fasting any time? So there are different schools of thought. When you talk about intermittent fasting, then again you have to listen to your body.
Yes.
Which is, some people do 16:8, some people do 14:2. So it's different for different people. What you need to do is, what people do is, if they are doing intermittent fasting, probably what is ideal is that you can have your first meal at say 10 in the morning and then stop by 8 in the evening. And then not have, but what we do sometimes is we eat very close to bedtime and then we don't give enough time to digest the food. So that's the problem. Or
like sunflower seeds.
Okay.
I eat them literally from the morning to the night. If you see how many sunflower seeds I have, I buy them basically by the couple.
But when you buy them, do you get them like the seasoned ones or you get the raw ones and then you roast them? How do you have them?
I just open them.
Because plants have lectins, and plants are supposed to be more resistant because of the cell wall. So we need to make it more digestible for us humans to consume. So the ideal would be that you roast the seeds, right? So we either, like for example, even with oats, if you take instant oats, it's not much of use because they are again processed. So the rolled oats or the steel cut oats, you need to soak them for some time, take off that water so that the phytic acid comes out, and only then you can absorb the nutrients out of it. If you talk about seeds again, Just taking seeds alone could sometimes cause hormonal imbalance because there is a lot of phytoestrogen in all these seeds. So again, you need to have probably 2 to 3 tablespoons in a day should be enough. Shouldn't be taking more than that. For women, there's a lot of hormonal imbalance which is happening. So we are craving. So some people get sugar craving. So like that, if you're having craving for these seeds, yeah, so because you are otherwise keeping a healthy environment, right? So we even know about the gut and the gut bacteria. So if you don't have sugar craving but you have craving for things like seeds, too much of seeds also can cause a hormonal disruption. So then we need to look at the hormones to understand why that is happening.
Maybe I should do a test on my
Yes, and intermittent fasting, again, what some mistake people do is they will do the intermittent fasting, and then in the time that they are allowed to eat, they will eat a lot of tea, coffee, sugar and rice and all kind of unhealthy stuff, thinking that I have done my fast for such a long time, so I am allowed to eat anything. But I wouldn't suggest that in your eating time during the intermittent fasting you gobble on all the sugar and stuff, because then you're doing more damage to your gut than any good. So for those who want to do intermittent fasting, you can even try maybe twice or thrice in a week or twice a week, and then the time that you're eating, make sure that you're watching what you're eating during the eating phase, and have an early dinner by 8 o'clock. Sometimes it's not practically possible and we are getting late, but habits are again slow to form. If your purpose for intermittent fasting is, so you think your height is good, weight is good, BMI is good, you're fit, but you want to try intermittent fasting to think that you can get better or you can build more muscle, you are
fat more.
Yeah, exactly. But it has to be a balance and it has to be supervised. So just by doing a lot of
lean person shouldn't do intermittent fasting.
Not like that. So you are, see, with intermittent fasting also you are trying to get rid of the toxins. So you are you can do the intermittent fasting even if you're thin, you're lean, you're fat, but it has to be supervised, and say start in the morning. So go raw till the afternoon. Say break your fast at 8 or 9 in the morning. Go raw till your afternoon. Then have something healthy. Sometimes
flesh out, right? Like drinking 4-5 liters of water.
Again, 5 liters of water is too much. Sometimes your cells will drown, so their metabolism slows again. So it's important that keeping a balance is the key, where you are drinking 2.5 to 3 liters is good for anybody. You shouldn't go to 4 or 5 liters, because again that's a myth that you're drinking a lot of water and you're flushing things away. Going to 4 and 5 liters, you will cause water intoxication, where again your cells will have so much of water that they will not be able to function properly, because just water is not enough. When you're sweating, so when you're sweating, you are also losing salt, so you need to replenish that, like coconut water. So you can have 2.5 liters of water and then you have coconut water and things like that. But going beyond 4.5 liters is, you will, in fact, your kidneys will flush out that water along with more salt. So you will feel more weak that ways. That's important. So it shouldn't go too much. So what I do is, you can have the magic water otherwise. So magic water is just, when you talk about flushing out. So what I do is, I take water, I heat it, and I just add whatever is in my kitchen. So add a bar of cinnamon, you can have a cinnamon stick, little bit of pepper, aniseed, boil it for 5 to 10 minutes. So all of that nutrient and the important ingredients from these spices get into the water, and you can just keep that in a flask and have that, you can sip throughout the day. And another question would be, how do you start your day? Helps to flush out the system. I heard you drink a lot of cold water thinking it would improve your metabolism, but again, if you drink a lot of cold water, then your body's the metabolism sometimes slows down. So yeah, so then probably,
Oh, that's very less.
so that's why gifting yourself 2 new big water bottles for the new year is a good idea, right? Because then
Drink anywhere near that amount of water a day. In tea, yeah, I
2.
drink about 10 to go mugs a day.
Okay.
Actually drinking water,
Yeah, so drinking water, so this magic water helps sometimes, you get used to like the water out there. But if you can't stay without it, then maybe two, but then the size also varies. That's why I'm saying 100 ml, 2 cups
Or when
should
you
be.
type in Google psychoactive drugs, so it comes first caffeine. And
It does, yeah. So
it changes your mood, it changes your mind, there are a lot of things because from India.
that's why, not to have it on empty stomach.
Yeah, because in India we go to any house, they ask first, do you want tea? It's a psychoactive drug.
Yeah.
So, right?
But
we are addicted, my mom cannot.
Exercise, we can activate the certain genes which are the reverse aging genes, and this has been the studies have come from the mice, and probably in a few years from now we are going to be, and then even there are different levels. So level 1 is what we do, food and exercise, whereas level 3 is supplements like NAD, NMN.
NAD, actually I've taken the NAD plus.
Yes. Yeah.
If you take it, like it will stop your aging for like 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6
then
months,
again,
yeah.
you need to do the cycle and do it. It started
Yeah.
in US and the technology is being lost, and I took it. And then many European people, business people, they took, and here.
It's like your tea and coffee.
Yes, 250
Absolutely.
mg and 500 mg, and I took it. And then I saw the performance in the gym, and then the cells and things. It was good for 4-5 months.
Yeah, but it's again a combination of a lot of things. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So like taking a cold shower, all of that, exposure to cold. So basically the point is that don't get too comfortable whatever you are doing. How many of us would like to climb 7 floors? We all use a lift. And sometimes I think here you are not seeing the stairs. You are always even going to the first and second floor. We have become very comfortable and complacent. So especially COVID has made us more work from home. We have all become addicted to Netflix. We are sitting all the time. So whatever kind of work you do, every 30-40 minutes just get up for 2 minutes.
That's very true. Actually, you should get up.
Yeah, but then we get so used to just sitting slunk down, and that goes even for the posture. So surgeons and NAD together, there are lots of things that are done, even controls insulin secretion, repairs the damaged DNA, because there is no test. So we have tests also coming nowadays which will tell you your real age, your biological age, and all of that. And this is again an enzyme, activated kinase enzyme, which when you are hungry, there is something called autophagy, which recycles the old protein. So we are sometimes, even in terms of I'm going to confuse you with your protein shake now. So do watch the label of what you are consuming, because sometimes you have a lot of added sugar. Anything which says no sugar, healthy, which claims to be, just check the labels always, because you could be taking in too much of protein.
Because hydro-whey protein is the best, purest form of protein, because protein has got like 3 types.
Yes.
Normal whey,
Exactly.
isolate, and then the hydro-whey is the best one.
So you should, the best would be to go for natural, good quality vegan protein. That will be the best thing. Not dependent on the taste of sugar. Maybe you will think about it today, because there are even different reports about stevia too, but stevia is better of the other things that are available. Yes. Looking dull are the ones which are probably fighting without any pesticide. So, we damage our gut in so many ways. So continuing with reverse aging, gut is the second brain. Yes, so when you say you are addicted to sunflower seeds, or you are wanting to take stevia, anything after today, whatever you are putting inside you, just give it a thought. Is this good for my brain? Is this good for my gut? Because we all know that, in fact, our gut, our intestine, the surface area is as big as a tennis lawn. That much amount of surface is there inside. And we have this good bacteria, we have the bad bacteria, so any thoughts about probiotics? Do you add probiotics to your food in any ways? Or have you heard of? Because when we go through feeling dull, feeling tired, feeling hormonal and all of that, we are actually probably, the problem is not with our mind and our mood and what we eat, but it's about the gut. So if we have a lot of these bad bacteria, there are these infections inside our whole body. There's something called candida infection, fungus infection, which can line your intestines, and that can create a lot of problems, sugar craving or bloating and things like that.
Probiotics has been added to clean the...
Yeah, but on a regular basis, do you, and we need to take
Berries.
antibiotics for so many reasons. Berries, okay. Anybody?
Every day before sleeping, blueberry and strawberry.
Okay.
Every night before.
In the evenings?
Yes.
Okay, but again the best time to have, I could be confusing you all, yeah. So the best time to have fruits usually is on empty stomach in the morning times. So it's better to avoid fruit, later. So you can probably...
Close at night, right?
Yeah, so ideally fruits are like a jealous lover. They like to be alone. Shouldn't mix them with your food. So the best time would be in fact to have in your protein shake you could add those berries.
Berries.
That would be a better idea. Yeah, and they, like I told you, they like jealous lover. They want to be alone. So best time is when you wake up in the morning before your breakfast or mid-morning. That's the best time to have the fruits. So again, there are different kind of diets. And what about fats? Are we taking in fats?
Every day.
Because few years back it was like, fats are bad, don't take this, don't take that. Now there's a reversal. Huh?
You need fat.
You need fat, yeah, because 70% of our brain is fatty. So we need fats for our brain also.
Every day, walnut every day.
That's good. Okay.
Fish oil is very good also.
Yeah, so the fatty fish. And
The
how do you take your almonds?
Almonds just eat it.
Okay, do you soak them, peel them?
Just wash it. Yeah, ready made.
Okay, so ideally, in an ideal world,
Yeah.
you should soak them overnight. So maybe that's a habit you could see. For me, it's just changing one small habit, which I found useful and which I have also, this is not something which I am making up.
Badam we buy from Carrefour, just need to put in water.
Just any regular. So try to avoid all the seasoned nuts because you don't know how much of salt is going inside you. So just soak it overnight and peel it, because only when you soak it, you activate an enzyme called lipase. So the purpose is that almond has a good fat, and this enzyme lipase is going to help in absorption of the other fats too. So you could be having vitamin D deficiency, someone is giving you vitamin D capsule and you're swallowing it up, but if your intestine is not good enough to swallow, to absorb this fat soluble vitamin D, then it's of no point. Then you keep taking the capsule, the vitamin D doesn't go up. And vitamin D again is an anti-aging hormone. It's like so many things about it now. So when you peel it, you activate an enzyme called lipase, and you also remove the peel. That skin of the almond has got something called tannin, which is going to prevent absorption, right? So you're doing the good stuff, but it's not doing much help. So maybe...
Soaking makes them taste lovely actually.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But it's like habit again. You have to remember to soak it and then consume it, yeah. So the best way to suppress your immune system, anybody, is by eating all kinds of sugar. Again, vitamin D is about anti-aging, and like I told you,
Milk is good every day morning, 1 glass of milk.
yeah, so some people swear by dairy. I don't like dairy, it doesn't do me good. Fine. Probably it is because your gut is, so there are two things. It could be because the milk that you are getting from is again, it's not free range, the antibiotic. So whatever, suits you. See, back in India, I had changed the milk to organic, where, they are the antibiotic free, they are raising, the way they raise the cattle also is important, right? What the cattle is having. So then it all depends on how you are assimilating. Some people like almond milk. What about you? Some people like the regular milk, some people like soya milk, oat milk. Yeah. So again, it's like, so there are so many foods also which can activate these genes, anti-aging genes, olives, polyphenols, fresh vegetables, red wine too, because you have the compound called resveratrol, which is again anti-aging, and even the so you can have one. And of course, when you are doing yoga and meditation, that changes the gut microbiome too. What about sleep? Are we getting enough sleep? Do we need help to sleep? So again, good sleep is when we rejuvenate, when we repair, especially the second stage of sleep. And now I think we will be, again, you all are doing regular exercise. So it's just about habits, right? If I were to tell you to start doing 30 squats, 30 sumo squats in a day, like you'll be like, oh, excuse me, don't want to do that. But then, we make your own calendar, you make your own plan, and then exercise. Yeah, especially after the age of 40, men, we talk only about menopause. We forget about menopause or andropause, right? So that is like, so important. So you could just start with, so it's easy, 10 squats and is easy. And then 10, 10, 10. And then you increase it by 15 and then make it 20. So this is something that
women also squat is the best.
Absolutely, it's really good. So it's different parts of the body which we think, okay, I go for a walk, that's my exercise, but sometimes that's not enough. You could make a calendar. I'm just talking about finding the routine in your everyday towards reverse aging. Stop talking, come Sneha, let's start moving.